How should I understand stotrams that promise material benefit? The fact that while doing sadhana you're getting unwanted thoughts, you're doing something wrong. I practiced sadhana for 5 months with results, but I had to stop. 5 months of sadhana is not sadhana. You read about Ramana Maharishi, read about the great saints, read about Thakurji. Their entire life was sadhana, and you think in 5 months you can change. When I sit for sadhana, all negative thought comes to me and I'm not able to focus and multiple thoughts are coming. For basics, start with 3 important things which can be done without a guru. Is a vegetarian diet required for sadhana? In Tantra, we have the 5 M's in which comes meat. If you're initiated in Tantra Sampradaya, few days ago, we had put up a form to answer your questions and very happy we got more than 200 questions. This time we are coming up with a special sadhana editions so that there's some clarity and we start communicating with each other. So let's understand how sadhana is done and let's answer your questions. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Aum Tat Sat. Hari Om everyone. We'll be starting our discussion. We'll be answering questions specially related to sadhana so that we can start our journey. And we'll be starting with Kanishka ji. She's asking, without a Guru Diksha, how can I progress in sadhana? Which mantra jap should be done? How can I receive the Diksha I've been seeking? And after marriage, how can I inspire my partner to spiritual growth? These are multiple questions starting from basics. See, if you're completely new to sadhana, understand the term sadhana. Sadhana comes from the root word in Sanskrit, is to accomplish something. So why are we doing sadhana? In normal language, it means spiritual practice. Sadhana will help you to control the monkey mind, help you to understand the true essence of your being, and also it will get you some discipline. So all the klesh and all the vikar and all the low emotions that you're struggling to face in your material life or in your emotional life, in your spiritual life, all will be taken care of sadhana. So in simple language, sadhana is a tool which consists of multiple practices such as Jaap, Asan, Pranayam, Dhyan, Pratyahar, which is done in a specific way so that you can overcome the dualities of life. Answering in that question itself, for a basic, if you're completely new, I would personally recommend, please go and read Patanjali Yoga Sutra's Ashtang Yoga. It is basic, it is beautiful, and when you start reading it, you'll realize that it shows you how to live in the world, that is how to communicate with everyone. We call it the codes of conduct, that is Yam and Niyam. Second, it is known as Bhayang, how to operate externally and what are the Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar mentioned. Also, it talks about Antarang, which will take you deep inside. That is for beginning. No guru is required for this practice. I would personally recommend, if you're doing Jaap, you do Om. You learn the technique of Jaap, which we have given in the video earlier. You hold the Jaap mala and just start chanting Om. Secondly, I would also recommend any Ishta, any Devta that you're worshipping, maybe Shiv Bhagwan, maybe Kali Ma, maybe Ganesh Bhagwan, sit in front of them, offer a diya, and just pray with your whole heart, complete surrender, and do the Yam and Niyam. Automatically guidance will come ahead. Secondly, I would also suggest that if you're talking about your partner, see, I always personally believe that if you're walking on the spiritual path, the partner should also be aligned. And if he's not aligned, when you start walking on the path and you get and understand what actual sadhana is, automatically with time you will realize that there's a karmic bond with your partner, and with time, if it is meant, the partner will change. Personally, I believe first do your sadhana for your own self, come to that state, because automatically the last question will be answered when you go deeper in your sadhana. Second question is, Pranitji has a very interesting question. If sadhana shouldn't be about material desires, how should I understand stotrams that promise material benefits? Doesn't that encourage approaching them only for material gains? Pranitji, I'm understanding because you have also messaged me this question on Instagram. See, I think you're talking about the Durga Saptashati where we were discussing about it. So coming back to the simple question, whenever you're doing any sadhana or any stotram, first they explain who the deity is, what the deity is true about. And while doing sadhana, they always mention that all this will be taken care of. So please understand that any stotram that you're reading, anything comes about material benefits, with that understanding that once you completely surrender to the deity, everything rest will be taken care of. So don't forget that. That is the reason it is very important. Don't just keep on chanting the stotras. Understand it, decode it, understand the actual essence behind it. Because whatever little I know, maybe you take Devi Suktam, maybe you take Durga Saptashati, everyone explains very clearly that the true essence of the deity is formless, and when you understand that form, all the material needs, all the emotional needs, all the spiritual needs, all will be taken care of. And also, if you're doing such deep stotram, I would also recommend that please have an understanding of what Vedanta is. Also, understand properly the ish that you're working or you're worshipping with. That means if I'm worshipping Shiv, I should know the background of Shiv Puran. If I'm worshipping Devi, I should know what Devi Bhagavatam says. You will realize that all the text, all the Puran are saying one thing, that all the deities are formless, and that formless is within you. So that understanding is very important. Third question, Sagrika ji is asking, living in a single room in Chandigarh as a PhD student, my sadhana is irregular without separate mandir. That means she has the same place to keep her diya, and also she's living there. She recites Kal Bhairav Ashtakam, Devi Stuti and Shiv Stuti. Now the problem is the issues that the room's vibe or my willpower. That is the problem. Do I need an idol or separate space, and am I doing it correctly? First of all, understand that we get this question many commonly, that I don't have place, I can't do my sadhana. The highest sadhana doesn't depend upon the place outside. It depends upon the place inside. So if your mind is clean, your heart is clean, and your attitude is clean, everything becomes sadhana. Secondly, you're asking me about should I get an idol or no? My dear, God is everywhere. So first get the right knowledge. In that room, in that bed, in that kitchen, in the air that you're breathing, everything is Bhagwan. So place doesn't matter. Thirdly, when you go and evolve deeper in sadhana, you will realize that your inner light will make the surrounding lit. And at the same time, the outer light is also that Bhagwan only. So please get a right knowledge. You may chant any stotram, any stuti, there is no problem. Remove the lack of knowledge that you're thinking that if the place is not good, I can't do sadhana. This is the biggest runaway mechanism that we have. What I would recommend personally in your case, Sagrika ji, is sit at one place, put a diya and do your sadhana. Worship everything very equally. Now it is materialistic or maybe it's intellectually, but later when you evolve, you realize that place doesn't matter. What matters that this body is clean and your intention is clean. Also, chanting stuti and all is very, very okay as far your pronunciation is clear and your intention is clear. If you don't have an idol, it is okay. I think when you start chanting stutis and understanding, the selected deity or divinity will come and they decide you want to come or not come. But I would personally recommend offer a diya, be open, chant, and remember that that divinity is in everything and it is within you. So keep your mind clean, your heart clean, and your intention very, very clean. Question 4. Navjot ji is asking, my question is related to sadhana sometimes. I don't feel like doing anything or just rest, or shall I just rest it, or I must push myself to do sadhana? It's a general question that everyone faces. I'm telling you something very clearly. Sadhana should happen so organically as if you're breathing. It should become a part of your life. How you don't forget to have your chai, how you don't forget to sleep, how you don't forget to brush. Sadhana should come to that state. So whenever you're getting very stagnant, or whenever the mind is playing games, or in philosophy called whenever tamas is taking over you, you should do your sadhana. We are not at that state to differentiate. So I would personally recommend, before you step for your work outside your house, sit, do your sadhana, and then only leave. First 3 months will be difficult, 6 months will be difficult, but after a while you'll realize that how sadhana is helping you to sustain that energy, and it becomes a part of your life. And slowly, psychological change will come, physical change will come, emotional change will come, and that is the goal of sadhana. So please stop contemplating, stop thinking that I should do, not do. Get your yoga mat if you're doing asana, get your asana if you're doing some higher sadhana, but please do it. See, everyone will give you a point of view. The highest point of view is your own experience, and that requires time. So please give time, because if you don't give time now, later you'll never change. And if you don't have time for your sadhana, it's such a waste of human birth. So please be aware and start your sadhana from now itself. The fifth question, Munnaji is asking, I practiced sadhana for 5 months with results, but I had to stop. If I restart now while I'm anxious and things are difficult, will my past practice still help me? Answering your own question, the fact that you're anxious now, your sadhana is not there up to the peak. Secondly, 5 months of sadhana is not sadhana. You read about Ramana Maharishi, read about the great saints, read about Thakurji. Their entire life was sadhana. And you think in 5 months you can change? At the same time, you're mentioning that 5 months has given you results. Why did you stop? If something is benefiting you and you're stopping, that means you're not doing it right. So please start, because if you do consistently for a year, this question will not pop up again. Personally, I recommend, for a yogi, there is no holiday. No matter what happens, sadhana should become an essence of life. Eventually, in higher sadhana, sadhana will also stop. But now we need sadhana, so please get back to your sadhana. Sagarji is asking, when I sit for sadhana, all negative thought comes to me, and I'm not able to focus, and multiple thoughts are coming. Overthinking, how to overcome from what I do and what should be the focus of unwanted thoughts. My dear, the fact that while doing sadhana you're getting unwanted thoughts, you're doing something wrong. I would personally recommend, I don't know what sadhana you're doing, but for basics, start with 3 important things which can be done without a guru. Start pranayam, anulom vilom, which is very, very important. Then do your mantra jap. If you don't know any mantra, chant Om and do tratak. First, get Drid Bhumi, that means get established in this without any excuses, without any lacking behind, and being aware that you have to do it and becomes a part of life. Do it for 6 months, become steady, automatically guidance will come to you. Also, I would recommend that do the 8 limbs of yoga, because all the questions that we have answered, the basic is yam and niyam, and that should be implied. Madhu Maniti is asking a question. Which method of sadhana can be realistically pursued by a working profession, balancing both career and household duties in the absence of a guru? Again, answering very, very simply. For working class, I would personally say do your sadhana before you leave your house. And again, do the 8 limbs, do the Ashtanga Yoga. Full Ashtanga Yoga is difficult. Theoretically understand. In your case, I would personally recommend follow Yam Niyam, because that will help you to lead a dharmic life in your profession. Secondly, before you leave the house, you should do Asan, Pranayam and Mantra Jap. Please do this. There will be a change. 20 minutes of very intense sadhana, which is very easy, will change your life completely if you be steady. So don't run into worshipping deities. Don't run into higher sadhana. Run into basic 4 things. Pick up those things that makes you happy, and automatically off the mat, read about dharma and how a yogi lives and how you can attune yourself to the highest consciousness. And most important thing, are you enjoying your work? Because if you are enjoying your work, automatically that will become your sadhana and you'll be happy at the end of the day. Remember, when you go to sleep, you should be happy and contented. If that is not happening, something is definitely wrong. Dheeraj is asking how to know if my sadhana is working out and what are the signs I might get to know when the progress. My dear, especially asking for the Shiva sadhana. How are you asking me this question? If you have not changed, if you are not calmer, if your anger is not under control, if you are understanding that Shiva is in everything, but not experiencing it, that means you need to work more on your sadhana. There will be a drastic change when sadhana comes into you. All jealousy, anxiety, fear, gossiping, worrying about the future slowly will come to an end. You will start feeling a kind of bliss or happiness. You will see glimpses that Shiva is guiding you all the time. Wherever situation comes, you learn how to respond. That means if you're asking this question, you have not experienced these things, I would recommend go with an open heart. Don't be too fixated to notions. Do your sadhana with love, and I'm sure Shiv will hold you. He's already holding you. The fact that you're doing Shiv sadhana, he has entered in your life. Just be open for acceptance, and at any point of time you're stuck, start chanting a Panchakshari mantra. Have full faith. See, it is the process of transformation. It is not going to happen in one day. We transform slowly, and that transformation is painful. It's like how from a caterpillar, a butterfly comes out. That process is difficult, but once you become that butterfly without giving up to any circumstances, without giving up to anything, you will realize the journey was meant to be. And the fact that you're a butterfly now, all the questions will be answered. There's a very beautiful example. There's a Saul doll who wants to understand what an ocean is. And he's struggling and walking every day to get towards the ocean. But the moment he gets near the ocean and starts walking, everything disappears, even his identity. We have to take the path of identifying us to be the salt, which is all the unnecessary pain that we are going through, and merging with that. So please walk on the path and have no fear. Madhurji is asking a question. If I can spare only an hour for sadhana every day at home, and if I wish I become a Jivanmukta ASAP, no other goal, what should I do in that 1 hour? Please exclude the option of karma yoga through the day. My dear, the fact that you have mentioned a Jivanmukta, the fact that you have mentioned karma yoga, I'm assuming Madhurji you're doing some kind of sadhana. But coming back to reality, I'm specifically answering only for you. If you want to become a Jivanmukta, which you have mentioned the term Jivanmukta, Vedanta has come in your life. Understand the teaching of Advaita Vedanta. I would personally recommend read the book Tattva Bodh. It is for beginners, and you can't run away from your karma. In fact, the fact that you're also mentioning karma yoga, there is a big impact of Maya on you, because the Vedanti doesn't do anything. For him, everything is Maya, it is just being. So in my personal recommendation, start with basics. Though you have intellectual knowledge, it's time that you get to basics. You get into the grill of understanding what actual Vedanta is. And remember, for you at the moment, Vedanta, Bhakti and Karma all are important. Everything, watch it as an holistic and walk on the path, and I'm sure guidance will come. But in my understanding, if we are living in this world, there is Karma Yoga. Otherwise, pack your bags, go in the mountain, but we are not there yet. And that is for a very special set of people who are not here. So you have to play your role, get the Vedantic knowledge, and then, so also I recommend please start reading the Bhagavad Gita. It will have a very good impact, because Vedanta and Karma Yoga will come together, and then you'll understand the crux, that is Bhakti. Vinayak ji is asking a question. As a student, how should we pursue our sadhana because of busy schedule? My dear, you are a student, but you can't be that busy that you can't do sadhana. So coming back to basics, for student, what are we lacking? We are lacking attention. We are lacking because the mind is running around, and we are always stressed during our exams. I would personally recommend do Tratak every day. Also, please understand, do pranayam, and just try to close and be aware of your breath in that pranayam. So I'm making it more short. We'll do pranayam. You focus on your breath up and down, be aware, or do Anulom Vilom and do Tratak. Once you advance, then you can start chanting Om. And in fact, it is said that the Gayatri mantra is very good for memory. But again, the question will come that can be chanted without a guru or not. So I will not go there. But my simple thing is, as a student, you have to be aware of two important things. Controlling your breath, which prana will help you, and doing Tratak. And these are very basic practices that will have a direct impact in next 6 months if you start. This is a nice question. Pratigya is asking, is a vegetarian diet required for sadhana? And if I've eaten non-veg, should I bathe before mala jap? Plus, how do I continue sadhana while traveling for a few days? When bathing, is it possible? So these are two questions, a very good question. Now, how can I answer about vegetarian and non-vegetarian? This is the biggest controversy that we have. But I'm answering this from two point of view, from both the point of view. For a normal sadhak like us, when you're doing sadhana, I would avoid to have meat, because already we are in a state where the mind is running around. Already anxiety, jealousy, fear, all has taken over. I would say that our goal is to reach in sattva. So avoid meat, because when you're having red meat, the body and the mind keeps on changing and sadhana gets disrupted. Secondly, when I talk from a very philosophical point of view, we don't have any right to kill anyone. And nature has given us that right to live and not to kill anyone. If you're so interested to become a non-vegetarian, just try hurting your loved ones, you'll feel that pain. So animal go through that pain. From a very basic point of view, answering your question, if you're eating meat and you're getting very uneasy during sadhana, you have to be aware of your sadhana and what is required and not required. Now my point number 2 comes, which is very opposite. That is from a tantric point of view. In Tantra, we have the 5 M's, in which comes meat. People eat meat. Our duty is not to see what is right or wrong. If you are initiated in Tantra Sampradaya and your guru has told you to eat, he or she knows what is the best for you. So my point of view will change. But for a beginning sadhak, avoid eating meat. In fact, even if you're eating meat now, it is okay. Do your sadhana. If and when time is required, even that will stop. But the sadhana should not stop. Secondly, having a shower or no. The question is very simple. At times when you can't do your sadhana, Gangecha, Yamunecha, Godavari, Saraswati, we sprinkle it on a head. If you don't do that, is okay. Do manas sadhana. There is no excuse that I don't have my Jaap mala, I can't do my sadhana. Sadhana can be done anytime. In fact, the manas puja is the highest puja. So don't worry about that. Richaji is asking, has a student torn between deepening my spiritual practices and the material world and the spiritual work? How can I progress? There's a turmoil, karmic obligations. What should be done? And deal to wish with all the karmas to resolve. My dear, this is the biggest problem. You have segregated your world into material, into spiritual, into obligation. Do everything as an offering. Even studying as an offering for the divine. Even handling your relations for the divine. There is no karmic bond. Whatever you're doing it for the divine. Automatically you'll realize that entire life becomes a sadhana. And secondly, this question, again coming to Vedanta, you are not the doer. The moment you realize that I am not doing this, my duty is to just turn up, give my best and not worry about the output or the result. So have this attitude. And please don't juggle between that this is material, this is secular, this is that. Don't worry. Your duty is to turn up, give your best in that very moment and have no excuses. You turn up, you give your best. You know what will happen? You will get a certain kind of satisfaction and that peace of mind will be achieved. If you're not doing this, again, there'll be a juggle. I would also personally recommend start reading the Bhagavad Gita, understand your true essence, start reading any text. Reading of books is very, very, very important. That is known as Swadhyaya. Self-study. So while you're doing rituals and all, understanding of who you are is also very important. So during the day when you're traveling or something, you're half an hour, start reading and that will give you support. And at any point of view, don't do anything, just sit in one corner, pray to that divinity to guide you and answers will come. Samiksha is asking, do every question need to be solved? Every question has some pattern of answer with different technical term and approach. Do every approach and term need to be known? If not, then why is this awareness happening? It's a very Vedantic question and I would like to end it with this question. My dear, again I'll answer from 2 points of view. For a beginner, he or she want to know the unknown. So asking question is the right. Also, who are you asking the question? That also depends. That is the beauty of Upanishad. The disciple is sitting next to the guru and asking all the time. And the guru is answering, satisfying all the question. And taking him or her to the state where no questions or no answer is required. So please understand, questions are good. But from your specific point of view, I'm answering. My dear, even the question is Maya, the answer is Maya and nothing exists. If you have come to that state of existence. Because when that experience comes that Nam and Rupa is not required, there is only silence. But for a beginner, questions are required. That is the reason Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. When a guru is explain, that is how I learned from my guru and I'm still learning. And Shravana is learning the teachings of all great saints. So I would recommend, please read about great saints. Everything will be answered in their journey. Manana is contemplating and not just having blind faith. So don't have blind faith on anyone. Whatever you're hearing, contemplate. Is it good? Is it bad? You have that complete right. And the last part, which is the most difficult, is to apply it in your day-to-day life. That is a technique that has been given by rishis and it's still working. You go to a modern school, you go to a AI, you go to a shopkeeper, anyone, question answers, knowledge is required. But in this case, the rishis have given us the knowledge of the highest. So we have to get there. Very good question. So it is all the blessings of my guru, the rishis and whatever we are living. We are trying to answer the questions that you all are giving in very simple manner. It's the first time that this is happening. Also, we are realizing that these are very basic questions. We'll come up with multiple question answer depending upon what questions we get. Also, remember, don't have blind faith on anyone, not even on me, or don't listen. I would love you to go take a book, read, start your practices, do it for 6 months, drop us a message and we'll answer, but come with that experience, because the way the questions have been asked, we are trying to answer that way. The evolved questions will come. Hopefully, by Bhagwan's grace, we'll be able to answer. But my point is very, very clear. Have only trust on that divinity and on your own experiences, with the right understanding that you have to have a disciplined life. From this takeaway, you need to follow the Ashtanga Yoga, and the process of transformation doesn't happen like this. We are walking on a path of thorns. And when you're walking on the path of thorns and higher you go, remember the rose is beautiful. That thorn is that transformation. The more you'll go through it, the more you'll purify your chitta. So this is an attempt. We'll come up again next month with a couple of questions, and we'll keep this again and again so that we also understand what are you all needing, and we are able to offer this with complete awareness. So we'll end this session. 1 Om and 3 Shantis together. Adopt the Namaskar Mudra. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Bow your head down. Surrender everything to that divine who's nameless and formed. Surrender ego, surrender your pride. With that awareness, consciously inhale. While exhaling, rise up, rub your palms nicely and place it over your eyes. Thank you so much. Hari Om.